This month's donation shoutouts go to Tim Plays with Dolls, Orenji Hime 2.0, Tanasha555, and Crystallized Jar. Thank you for supporting this channel and my art. It's Ghost. Oh, I just randomly thought I would film a cooking video today. So today we'll be making a spiced apple cake. I'll be putting the recipe quantities in the description, and I won't be going over them much. This recipe is actually not from anywhere. My mom found in like a simple apple cake recipe somewhere, but it was kind of bland, so I kind of arranged it, added some spices, I added a crumb topping, so it's kind of a personal recipe, but also not. I don't know, but yeah. Also, if you notice, the camera angle is a bit different than usual. I lost my tripod. I should be able to find it, but for now, I just have the camera on top of a sugar jar. So anyway, the first step is to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. There you go, and we'll be baking for 20 minutes. And that's the preheat button. Gotta make sure there's nothing in the oven. Oh, there's the baking tray. And start. Next, you'll be needing some flour. Now you can use any kind of flour as long as it's not bread flour. You can use cake flour, which is probably the most recommended, obviously, because it's a cake, but you can also use all-purpose flour. Next, we're going to add our cinnamon. And also some ginger and some cloves. And finally, nutmeg. Once all that is together, we're going to take a whisk and we're going to whisk everything together. Sure that air gets into the mixture and it'll make the cake nice and fluffy. Alright, so the next step is to take a microwave safe bowl and you want to put your butter into it. You want to wrap that up and put that in the microwave to melt. Alright, while that butter is melting, we're going to take some oil and we're going to measure it out. I'm using this measuring cup so it's easier to pour. Alright, butter is still melting, so I'm going to crack 2 eggs into the flour mixture. You want to gently stir this until well combined. The mixture is going to look like this after a bit. Just keep stirring. I know it looks really dry, but we still have the butter and oil to add. Alright, so once it's well combined, it should look something like this. It's very, very thick, but there's no dry flour in the mixture anymore. Once that's done, you want to add in your oil. And here I'm going to add in my butter. And I'm just going to stir this in until it's well combined. So here I've got some apples and also an apple cutter. So I'm just going to use this to quickly chop up my apples. Once that's done, you want to take your apples, and if there's any seeds left, just cut them out. And then just take your apples and chop them up into smaller pieces. Kind of like that, and then add them to your batter. Once the apples are in, I'm going to take a spatula and stir them together. Alright, so I've greased a brownie pan and put a reusable baking sheet into it. Then I'm just going to tip my mixture into the pan. I'm just going to use the spatula and spread everything out. Now we're at the final steps here. We're going to take some almond flour in a bowl, just a small one will do. Then we're going to take some sugar. And I'm going to take the required amount of butter. I'm going to break it apart into smaller pieces as I add it to the bowl. Because I can't use one of these. If you have one of these, it's really good for making crumb topping. You just want to cut up the butter and mix it in to the dry ingredients. Then you want to just get in here with your hands and rub the butter and the dry ingredients together. Just make sure it's just crumbling apart. If it looks like sand, kind of like this, that's basically what it should look like. Next, you want to take your cake and sprinkle this on top. You want to put that on a baking tray and stick it in the oven. Then you just want to allow it to bake for about 20 minutes. Alright, so here is my apple cake. I let it cool enough so that the pan is just warm to the touch. I also already cut it up a little, but it looks wonderful. It smells wonderful. Here I've just served it up onto a nice plate. It looks wonderful. It's nice and moist. And there's little bits of apple all throughout the cake. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!